Well, there's mailing costs, if you print something on your computer, but that's like a hard thing that they have to have a printed on top of this photo thing, you know? I mean, you can have Robin or I can have Robin, just that, you know, for a ballpark.
Or she won't know the number. She's probably got his diaries and all of her accounts.
What's that? I have a feeling because she's the treasurer for the American Legion. I get a feeling she knows. She keeps the ducks in a row.
But if she did it out of the business.
I think she did it as her personal. What my wife tells me is Robin paid for that herself, whether that was out. It could have been.
Okay, we got 6 o'clock, needs to get to the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So we got minutes from July 7th, public and non-public. Sadie had one change for Hope's spelling of Hope's last name. It's actually Stragennell, correct?
Yep, you got it. Thank you.
That's the only correction I see. Motion to approve. Non-public.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I got a couple of things here. I've got a water abatement for interest owed, for correction, I think full bill just for 1178 US Route 4, which is the Chinese food restaurant block. And basically, when they came online with a new meter, it was to catch up and $6,000 bill, and it was actually back to the average. Motion to approve.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then we have a fair amount of stuff that's coming out of current use and the luck being charged. The 3 of those. Make a motion to approve all 3.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And we're up for renewal with our agreement with the Upper Valley Humane Society for animal control. We went through an annual program last year again. I think we reverted back to the last or the year before.
Yes, we've had the last 2 years.
Yeah, it's an annual fee of $2,500. Motion to approve.
Motion to accept.
In favor.
I'll second and I.
Okay.
We have Anthony and Hope here from Community Power with some, I guess, disappointing news.
Good evening, Select Board. Good evening. And good evening, general public. I was here a couple of weeks ago. I'm Andrew Hatch, I'm the Community Energy Advisor for the Community Power Coalition of New Hampshire. You want to come with me? Sure. Obviously, I was asked to come and see you a couple of weeks ago to get your endorsement to have our risk management committee and executive board look at the possibility of launching Canaan Community Power in the fall with the intent of being able to provide a slightly better rate than the one that's going to come into force on the 1st of August from Liberty. I needed your endorsement to do so because the Risk Management Committee would have needed to act on the Thursday after that meeting. During that meeting, we received reports from our analysts about the market conditions. I'm sure nobody in the room is unaware of the international uncertainty and it's affecting electricity prices. And long story short, the analysis showed that to launch the Canaan Community Power Program in October had a more than 50% chance of leaving Canaan as a what we call community power aggregation underwater by the end of the rate period, which is ending next end of January. The hope was that we would be able to get everybody up to speed because of the anticipated continuing delta between what the coalition is going to be able to provide as rates and those particularly of Liberty. But unfortunately, they took a decision that they could not see a way to do it. And I'm really here tonight to apologize on behalf of the coalition, but as you know, to answer any questions. I can get as far into the weeds of how the mechanics of this work, but I just think it's fair to understand how the coalition operates on behalf of the town of Canaan and our other members. And it's really important for us to make sure that we don't underprice ourselves and cause ourselves financial instability. And that's really the underpinning of why this wasn't possible. Canaan was the only one of 12 communities that we have in the same situation who was even able to consider a launch because of the advantage over the upcoming Liberty rates. I fully anticipate that as we go into rate setting again in December, that we will see another opportunity to be able to do this. And I remain committed to keeping in touch with Open, the Electric Aggregation Committee, talking through the fall about what we should do to tee things up and have a successful launch in the early new year.
Appreciate the diligence all the way around and the caution. So, any questions? Okay, so we just stay in all holding patterns. People have their
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're good at it.
I feel bad. Yeah, I mean, we will keep everybody informed as indeed your committee has done. I know they posted something on the newsletter as early as last Friday. I'm keeping in touch with Administrator Wozmak to make sure that everybody's up to speed, and we'll do everything we can to support you in a launch as early as possible.
Great.
We will be meeting this month, if there are any questions, so people can stop by or.
Okay.
Great.
Questions?
Well, thank you again for your patience.
Thank you. All right, the next thing is we've got the updated, one-year contract with Grafton for EMS coverage. Again, this is just a method of trying to recoup some of the money, services that we've been providing to Grafton. And, this has gone through the attorney general. He's okay now?
Yep.
Make a motion to accept, we've accepted, I just motion to accept the updated one.
I'll move to accept this agreement as printed.
This is through end of this calendar year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay. Have we seen any payment yet? Because I know initially we talked about quarterly.
I think not, because we did not have. to sign
We had not signed it, so will then it be retroactive to when we initially agreed on it and we would receive the full little amount that we agreed to?
Yeah, I think this would be retroactive to you had this agreement. The only thing that's missing is the signature and the Attorney General's review of the agreement.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Maria.
Did you second it?
Yeah, I'll second that.
All in favor?
I,
Aye.
What's our plan to look at next year and start conversations or? You know,
Thanks for that, but I think, need to try to cover our full expenses.
right.
I was gonna say we need
I
to
think
start
we-
talking to them.
Yeah, we can
Before they do their
reevaluate what we need to cover the allocation of our resources over there. And then give them an opportunity to decide whether they want to do it. If they want to do it, they can
Right.
obviously get their EMS services anywhere they can find them.
Yes, I'm just thinking their budget season is most likely
Right.
mirrors ours, so to start having those conversations.
They
for the
know
next
the
couple of
number.
months.
They know the number.
We've given them a number. haven't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yes,
170. 76.
somewhere around.
Which is still a very good deal, frankly.
Mhm.
The next thing on the agenda is, Deb Tenney is stepping down from town treasurer, and, the deputy treasurer, Pam Wallaber is gonna, step into that position, so. And that'll happen, Deb's, step down will be August 31st, and
August
Pam,
first,
But
July 31st is my,
sorry.
yes.
Pam will be, stepping into the treasurer position on August 1st, so. I move to accept the resignation of Deb Tenney from the elected position of town treasurer effective August 31st, July 31st.
We're gonna have to get him a calendar or something there.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then I move to appoint the current deputy treasurer Pam Wallaber as town treasurer pursuant to RSA 669:61 to serve until the next normal election cycle for treasurer, at which time the position will be filled by election. And that will be effective for August 1st.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then if we need, can I make a recommendation that we appoint Deb as the deputy treasurer? Or do we just
Correct.
appoint?
Correct.
Thank you. I'm going to make a motion to to appoint Deb Tenney as the deputy treasurer effective August 1st until the normal election cycle. It's an elected position as well, correct? Yeah, no,
No, that's,
that's a.
I think-
Appointed by the
that's an appointed
treasurer.
position.
I think the treasurer nominates and you.
You're going for like.
It's looking that way.
Until further notice.
Yes, Ellie?
yeah, so the first thing
only serves until March, is that correct?
Correct. So the next election cycle,
So there'll be another,
another treasurer, well, potentially another treasurer if Pam doesn't run. Yes. But
she doesn't serve out her term, she only serves till town meeting.
Correct.
Right,
Correct.
okay.
And I just would like to correct the spelling of my name. Wolllaver,
thank you.
not W-A, but W.
I'll change that.
So you move to a point. That is what we need.
And Pam's recommendation, do we make sure Pam wants her?
Thanks, Sadie.
You're not gonna do the, fire update?
Oh, do we actually vote on that? On Deb being deputy?
I think you voted it.
We did vote on, okay. Thanks, Roger.
Jack, you are up.
I just have a few things. The Potato Road Bridge project is moving ahead. I secured 2 out of the 3 easements that we need from local property owners to kind of work on that. The design, I think we're nearing the end of that. I expect the bid package probably to go out this fall and construction to begin in the spring. So that's pretty good. I also have, I'll say, resuscitated the emergency generator contract that we talked about a few years ago. So I do have a proposal for that. The prices are almost the same as they were 3 years ago when we got the first proposal that we didn't act on. I just have to check some of the information, make sure it's right, but then we'll be able to get our.
Does that mean 3 years ago the prices were high or they're giving us a deal now?
Honestly, they're only $20 higher, so that's
That's very good.
not bad, but we'll actually then begin to maintain the emergency generators, make sure they work.
How many do we have again?
Well, there's 4 on this list, but I actually think there's 5. What I'm not sure of at this point is whether the Depot Road pumping station whether we'll keep that one, because that's a tremendously large generator. And that was the 3rd thing on my list. We've submitted some plans to the state to replace the Depot Street pumping station. And the energy use, the components of that will be much more efficient. And it won't need anywhere near the size of the generator that's there. So I've got to kind of take a look at what generator we'll need there and then figure out how to get it. And there's also a generator out at the water treatment plant, and I'm not sure that that's on here. So I need to make sure that we're covering the right ones in the right way at the right time.
Great.
And for the moment, that's all I have.
Okay. Scott, you got something in your other business?
Yeah, the Canaan Historical District had openings for alternates. And we had 3 people express desire. One of them withdrew, so what we'd like the appointment go through for Elizabeth Utila for 2029 expiration date, and Timothy Galvin for 2029. Those are the 2 openings that we have. Would like,
Those are alternates?
yes, I would like to make motion for us to accept them as alternates to the Historic District Commission.
We'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Any other business?
I got one thing.
Okay, John.
The meeting house would like to install a fire alarm system. And we've been, in touch with the contractor. He's made a second visit and he's refining the quote again. The fire chief has visited. He's happy with it. we have to get L-Chip's permission. We've submitted the request. So I'll make sure you people don't have any problem with it.
No. Not so far.
That'll be a number you advance to the budget committee.
Yes.
I'm presuming you don't have any money budgeted for this year.
Well, no, we'll do this out of the trust fund,
Out of the meeting house trust fund.
meeting house trust fund.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, money's already in the trust fund.
okay, I'm sorry, yeah.
Yes.
Rick Paulson, 36 Reagan Road.
There.
On July 13th, I posted on the Canaan, New Hampshire Community Neighbors Helping Neighbors about the Canaan water supply system. I reported that it was brown, tinted brown, stained my porcelain, and other contributors that posted on it talked about a metallic smell that I have noticed. And this has been going on for multiple weeks. 2 weeks prior to when I posted, some people reported that their water was brown. And as of today, it's turned from brown to, it's now yellow, but it still has a smell to it. I don't know if the town is aware of that this is going on. Would we be concerned? Is there a health or safety issue going on with this water? I know, I haven't seen anything posted on the town website about the water. I mean, I saw your, the newsletter that you gave out from asking about the connection and asking to report if it's lead, copper, and going into your house. My concern is, you know, there are businesses, there's an elementary school that is all connected to the water, and if I'm not mistaken, there's like 150 people connected to the water supply. I just got that from Google, so don't quote me on that. No. So I don't know what the status or the future of the water supply, but you know, we're paying for something that I consider substandard. I don't even drink the water. I don't even cook with water. I buy 12 bottles of gallons of water every other week because I don't trust it. I think that it smells. There is an odor coming from my water. So I'm bringing to your attention, I had multiple people agree with me that the water is tainted brown, it smells, and it's staining, causing staining. I don't know what's in the water. I mean, I know you guys are doing reports. Report it out. You know, one of your suggestions is to run your shower for 5 minutes and then use your tap water for 1 to 2 minutes. Well, that kind of sounds ridiculous considering we all pay for the water. Why do I have to flush it down the sink to get good water to drink? Right? So I would like to know what is the short-term plan? Is there a long-term plan?
Sure.
I know it's not gonna happen overnight. I get that.
So let's back up a little bit. I think at the last meeting, I said that the Canaan Neighbors Helping Neighbors is not an official way into the town. You know, if you want to call and complain about something, you should call the town hall or specifically department. Going back a little bit, June 28th, I received a call from a resident in town about the water being tinted brown. He called me because he called John's number and it was disconnected. I reached out to Mason, and Mason had informed me that they had been flushing some lines earlier that day, and it would clear up, and it did for me anyways. It cleared up, and I didn't hear anything else. That was the last time, to my knowledge, anyone in the town heard anything about the water. Not to say that I don't look at the Canaan Helping Neighbors site. I do, obviously, but I'm not going to respond there. I did stay with Jason talking to him about it. He informed me today that in the transition, there's a chemical additive. They do the water that, I don't know the chemical they add up at the treatment center that attaches to iron and it pulls it out of the water system. He was not sure of that, proportions to use every day, daily when they put it in. That was corrected yesterday or the day before, I believe. He finally got, the correct number from the state to use, to add that. He said that within the next, week or so, it should clear up. And, as far as the safety of the water is tested bi-weekly and sent to the state, for verification. So, as you know, I'm on the water supply as well. I've had some tinted water, but goes back at the end of June, like I said. And, I'm drinking it right now. So, I mean, you can do what you want to do, but like I said, there are some issues that we're dealing with. We're dealing with a bunch of pipe issues right now. That's been a long-term program. You want anything else or?
No, I think that pretty much covers it. I mean, the system has a number of components, and I'm meeting with some engineers tomorrow to take a look at the water treatment plant. Because it is old and there are things that need to be done, and there is a fair amount of rust. It is drawn out of the lake and rain events, some heavy rain that changes some of the turbidity sometimes. And so in a way, you're frequently chasing the character of the water because it's an open source. So sometimes it gets ahead of you. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on the water system too, as you know. And I have been, since I live in the house that I grew up in and my family used to own part of the water system, I can tell you that I've never had this problem before until, the only other times we ever had issues was like when there was, a break or they were flushing hydrants. And my water is still yellow. And the other thing is, I don't think they're shocking it enough with chlorine because normally my water reeks of chlorine. And now it doesn't. I haven't noticed any other smell, but it's been yellow for quite some time. And I was gonna call John, but then I found out that he wasn't with the town. So who are we supposed to call now when we have an emergency? I've called multiple times when we've had water go out in the middle of the night, and John was always available to take a call. But if I call the town office, I'm not gonna get anybody.
So Bob
Who
Henry,
do we call?
at the Highway Department,
In the middle of the
DPW,
night?
in the middle of the night,
Yeah,
yes.
right.
So,
Well, he's made a mess of the cemetery, so I don't really exactly trust him to take care of the water.
I haven't seen that.
yep,
Linda Paulson, in regards to a response, there have been issues with this water system. We purchased our house in 2004, and I have a letter from the town dated May 23rd, 2005, stating there was a violation. It made the Valley News in November of '06 as a sewer being over capacity, and the DES was involved banning new users. In August of 2006, there was a violation. October of '06, notice was sent out. So this has been ongoing, and I can document it. So this is not a new issue.
I don't drink it, I never have.
I mean, I can't go back to 2006 and do every violation there is. So,
I understand that. I am hoping that moving forward, there can be a firm solution to this and not repeated Band-Aids at this point. I'm not going to question what DES decided regarding the ban on sewer. But I do agree that you could throw the word monopoly at it, that we are expected to run the lines for between 2 to 3 to 5 minutes to clear them if we are not receiving abatements on that, because it is a cost to all of the users. And I would be concerned for what sediment is potentially still being left in the lines, in terms of the the users that are on the system. And I don't know if we're still having issues with the trihalomethanes, the haloacetic acids, but the copper, we've been testing the water for a week now, and it is very acidic, which means that anything sitting in those lines is leaching lead, copper, and the majority of the homes, if they're on incoming lead lines still, and maybe some of the older homes that aren't on PEX, I wouldn't even know what it's doing with PEX lines, but it would certainly be leaching copper, which we know has been an issue in the past with elevated copper levels that made it to the public news. So I guess directed maybe at Jack, what would be the plan for getting this fixed so that we are not repeatedly having to deal with this? What do we need from the users? And my frustration in the town as a whole collective, having a vote on what the users get, the number of years that it was shot down because the whole did not want increased taxes and the burden is not in fact upon them. Is there a way to create something where the users have the voice on the water system?
Make a co-op. Turn it into a
I
co-op.
don't think the town's voted down the water, any of the water projects that we've had going, so.
Not recently,
I don't, even in the past, I think they've approved it every time, so.
all right,
I mean-
I will look back into that.
Yeah,
Well, we're certainly working on improvements and upgrades to the aged water system. We have some engineering ongoing now because of the lead and galvanized iron and just the old pipes. Because I have some engineers coming out tomorrow morning to make recommendations on both short-term and capital planning projects for the water treatment plant itself, because it too is approaching probably 20 years old, I think. So that work's ongoing, so the timing is probably pretty good. But I certainly don't disagree that there are improvements to the capital structure of the water treatment that are due for an upgrade.
Do you know if there's any state or federal grants to help towns like us to,
we're accessing them right now, Rick. I mean, we've got quite a bit of, we used it in the past, and we've got 1.75 that's slated to be used for the lead, and yeah, so I wish there was more, but it's getting tighter and tighter over years.
Yeah, we have the current program for the lead remediation and limestone, which will change the circulation of water in the system to get rid of the dead point water. That unfortunately ended up with at least a 1-year delay from when I had met with engineering over a year ago. We think it's back on track, but it's still that delay we had to deal with for some reason, and Jack's been working on it. We got shut out of the account for that money, so we couldn't incur expenses until we knew the money was available to pay for them. So that was part of the delay, but yes, and as far as chlorine levels and that's all regulated to us, what we shall by the water samples by DES. That there's certain parts of that's out of our hands. They tell us what we have to do.
so you're taking your water samples right from this, like right at the pump station?
Well, they're,
Or they sample from like,
They have multiple-
They pull them at the town hall, and then they pull them, I think, one other place as well, so.
They
what's
do
that?
it quarterly.
You-
fire department, that whole thing too. Cause that's where the check valve is in there.
Yeah, because they pull multiple samples from different areas.
Just wondering if the end users at the end of the line, no, are getting the worst of it versus
and this is one of the things that's in the design to be upgraded, because currently, the way the system works, it comes out of the lake, goes through the sand filters, the chlorinator, comes through the user district up to the water tank. So during periods of low usage, you don't have water coming out of the tank. It's just sitting there. One of the changes in this design is water line is going to run across Blaine Road directly to the tank. So the tank will be constantly circulated and then come down into the town. It'll be fed from both sides into the user district. Because I know when I met with the engineers a little over a year ago, they estimated that there was water in that tank that had sat unused for up to a month during low water periods. Your chlorine is run out, you get that sediment. When we started having the problems with the intake and you start draining that tank as your source, everything in there now has moved into the lines. So we're trying to work on it. We've been working with DES and the state and try to figure out, we think we've got the problems with the intake solved. Now we know what caused, we think we figured out what caused it. Huh?
Not fixed, but solved.
No, we got it solved. We don't know if it's just something that's gonna have to become a routine adventure with it, or if it's going to be, if it's gonna maintain it now. I mean, it's one of the problems by design.
Ted, you had something?
Yeah, I installed years ago, I installed a whole house, filter system line. And never had discolored water. If I don't change the filter often enough, it gets a little, you can smell the chlorine, but then I just go change it and it doesn't seem to be an issue. And I drink the water right from the tap, so. Have ever since we moved there, so.
Thank you. Thanks, Rick. Again, I can't stress enough. Go directly to the town, it's just roundabout way. Anything else from anybody? I'm gonna make a motion to go into non-public.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everyone.